My hired boyfriend turned out to be a rich heir. I have a condition, tactile dependency, a craving for physical contact that's hard to explain. After the grueling college entrance exams, I decided to hire a boyfriend to ease the stress. He had an 8-pack, broad shoulders, a slim waist, and a penchant for wearing gray sweatpants that drove me wild. We spent the summer indulging in carefree bliss. But when the season ended, I called it quits, citing a rather harsh excuse. A fortune teller said I'd jinx my future husband. Jong Bok-da's eyes reddened. I've been good, haven't I? Can we not break up? Yet, I stood firm, unmoved. On the first day of university, Jong Bok-da stepped out of a sleek supercar, draped in designer clothes from head to toe. So, your condition's cured? He said with a smirk. Now it's my turn to need some healing. Could it be that, post-exams, I'd unwittingly hired a bona fide heir of Beijing's elite? I posted on the university's confession board, wanted, boyfriend. Monthly salary 8,000, must be over 1.85 m, handsome, fit, send private photos, contact app. Within 5 minutes, my inbox was flooded with friend requests. While I was still sifting through the chaos, one profile caught my eye, an orange cat staring straight into the camera, eerily like the kitten I'd once rescued as a child. I accepted the request. Instantly, a shirtless photo popped up. I zoomed in, my face flushing. Broad shoulders, tapered waist, an 8-pack, and the faint tease of V-lines. Was this guy a Greek god? More importantly, he was wearing gray sweatpants. Honestly, men in gray sweatpants are to women what black stockings are to men. Ahem. With such sincerity, how could I not give him a chance? For our first real-life meeting, I arrived early at the hotel. The moment I saw him, I was smitten. The hallway lights bathed him in a golden glow, over 1.88 m, broad shoulders, slim waist, long legs, and a face so strikingly handsome it screamed youth. His smile was a knockout. Jong Bok-da. Yeah, that's me. I quickly ushered him into the room. Up close, his sharp brows and chiseled features were even more breathtaking. I marveled silently. How could someone with such a perfect body and face need money? This deal seemed too good to be true. Whatever, it didn't matter. I was just here to cure my condition. Staring at his high-bridged nose, I blurted, "Still got your first kiss?" He nodded, handing me a health check report. Ahem, no need for that level of detail, but a virgin? That's the ultimate dowry. I immediately upped his salary to 10,000. My gaze lingered on his hands, strong, defined knuckles gripping a glass, fingertips slightly pink and curved. His ears reddened under my stare, his eyes darting nervously. My condition flared up. I was itching to touch him. Screw it, let's go for it. Can I hug you? I asked bluntly. Jong Bok-da froze. Huh? That fast? I batted my eyes, feigning innocence. I'd paid good money, so no matter how gorgeous he was, if he wouldn't let me hug him, I'd at least flick him. His Adam's apple bobbed as he instinctively opened his arms. I dove in like a koala, clinging tightly, nuzzling a bit, and inhaling deeply. Soft, fragrant, his skin against mine was pure serenity, better than any pill I'd ever taken. Lost in bliss, I felt something odd against my lower abdomen. I looked up suspiciously. Jong Bok-da's face was crimson, his voice hoarse. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. His name screamed wildness, but this guy was pure as snow, one hug and a touch, and he was blushing. How are you supposed to help me with my condition like this? I let go of his neck, my tone cool. Forget it, you're too inexperienced for me. As I adjusted my dress, panic flashed across his face. Sorry, I was just nervous. I can do this. Seeing my skepticism, he grabbed my hand, pressing it to his cheek, looking like he might cry. I can do it, really. Want to try again? He nuzzled my palm like an adorable fluffy puppy. A tingle shot through me, spreading warmth. Feels nice, I grinned, satisfied. He leaned closer, his breath teasing my neck. Like this, huh? Want a kiss? Oh, he knew how to play. My legs turned to jelly, but I held back. Kissing was too much, I just wanted to cuddle. I told him to take off his shirt. Inspecting his flawless 8-pack from every angle, I pressed myself against him again. The skin-to-skin contact calmed me instantly. His clean soap scent enveloped me, my mind bubbling with colorful daydreams. Unable to resist, I wanted to bite him. Before I could, he pushed me back hard, nearly sending me off the bed. Stunned, I thought, what's this? Selling charm but not the body? His face flushed, he pulled me back from the edge. Sorry, I need to shower. He bolted to the bathroom. The sound of water hitting frosted glass echoed, his silhouette barely visible. Years of reading novels told me exactly what he was doing in there. Holding back like that? He didn't seem like a bad guy. I grabbed my phone and transferred 10,000 yuan to him, noting, great experience, wear gray sweatpants next time. Half an hour later, he emerged, dressed in clean, nondescript clothes. My 10,000 yuan was well spent. 8 words summed it up: come when called, strip when asked. Zhang Bakda exceeded expectations, though he did seem strapped for cash. Our sweet summer romance not only eased my condition but made me glow. As for Zhang Bakda, my money upgraded his wardrobe, sometimes extravagantly. I spotted European designer pieces, brands even I barely knew. He even gifted me a handbag. For a moment, I wondered, was I sponsoring him, or was he sponsoring me? Today was a class reunion. I texted Zhang Bakda to pick me up. Teetering down the stairs in heels, I ran into my mother in the living room. I froze, greeting her politely. Miss Tan, dressed in a sharp yet understated suit, exuded authority. Sipping tea, she asked casually, have you estimated your exam scores? Enough for Jingbei University? It had been ages since the exams, and now she cared? I nodded. I haven't calculated exactly, but I'm confident I'll get into Jingbei. My mother, a decisive businesswoman, hated my vagueness. Pointing at me, she snapped, confident? You don't even know your own score? You've always been like this, no sense of responsibility, half-hearted in everything, never thinking of others. If you don't get into Jingbei, go abroad. Don't embarrass me here. I lowered my head, silent. I was used to this. The stock market has ups and downs, but she expected me to only rise. After her rant, she softened, playing the caring mother. Xiao Yu, do you know how talented kids are these days? I'm strict because I want the best for you, so you don't fall behind. I smirked inwardly. Was she worried about me or her own reputation? After scolding me, she took a work call and left, oblivious to my dressed-up appearance. Just then, Zhang Bakda texted, babe, I'm here. Ready? Swallowing my bitterness, I adjusted my mood and stepped outside. The sunlight was gentle, and there he was, a boy in a white shirt and black pants, his smile just for me. I ran to him, melting into his arms. Zhang Bakda held me tightly. Growing up, I'd always lacked security. Thinking back, I'd never truly owned anything. Even if I paid for him, in this moment, he was mine. I grabbed his collar, pulled him close, and bit his lip. His eyes widened in shock before his arms wrapped around my waist, taking control. A rush of unfamiliar emotions surged, drowning my reason. I don't even remember how I got home. A drama with Lamdat accelerated things between us, but the real turning point came that day. Somehow, Lamdat found out I'd hired Zhang Bakda and snitched to my parents. They only ever sent money to my card, never caring who I dated. This time, though, they exploded, assuming I'd hired some high-end male model. The house erupted. Trinhang Ge, how dare you use family money to keep a boy toy? Your wings aren't even grown, and you're already flying. You haven't even secured college, yet you're throwing money at some guy. Are you insane? Break up now. Aren't you ashamed? Don't you care how others see you? I sniffled. The money was from my scholarship, but I didn't dare mention my condition. Still, I wanted to keep him. Don't interfere. He's my classmate, a good guy. In their minds, the male model morphed into a bleach blonde delinquent. My dad nearly had a stroke. So young and already a deadbeat? Break up, or I'll deal with him myself. After that fight, I was grounded, my card frozen. The more I thought, the sadder I got. I could barely manage my own life, how could I drag him down with me? If my dad went after him with his business tactics, Zhang Bakda wouldn't stand a chance. I opened our chat, eyes stinging, and typed, let's break up. Then I blocked him. Exhaustion hit like I'd raised 6 kids and was now babysitting 12 grandkids. A week later, I was allowed out. After tossing the trash, I spotted a familiar figure at the street corner. I rubbed my eyes, it was him. He looked thinner, his presence alone tugging at my heart. How had he been this past week? I approached. Why are you here? He looked at me, voice faltering. Why did you want to break up? I couldn't admit I was grounded and broke. My mind scrambled, and I blurted, the fortune teller said I'd jinx my husband. I love you too much to ruin you. The moment it left my mouth, I cringed. Who breaks up with that excuse? He gave a bitter laugh, still pleading. I've been good, haven't I? Don't break up. His good choked me up. Jong Bok Da, I said, just his name, and his eyes reddened. I felt like a heartless monk from a past life. Steeling myself, I said, I have tactile dependency. I hired you to treat it. I'm cured now, understand? So, we're done. I couldn't reduce our time together to a transaction, the joy was real. That final meeting was tense. Before leaving, he said, Trin Hung Ge, you better not cross my path again. He tossed a card into my arms. Watching his back fade, I broke down. Even a soprano couldn't capture my sorrow. That was the end of us. The card held 20,000 yuan, untouched. After the breakup, my parents sent me abroad to clear my head. The only silver lining? My exam scores were good enough for Jingbei University. He called once, on the day I chose my university. Neither of us spoke, but I knew it was him. After a long silence, he caved. Which school did you pick? His voice trembled, probably from drinking. Jingbei University, I said, then hung up. Nordic nights were bone-chilling. Cold? Good. It matched my heart. -8 degrees. September arrived, and university began. Jingbei's dorms had bunk beds with desks below, decent enough. But the dry weather was tough for a southerner like me. Day 1, I got a nosebleed. Zhang Tuna, the only local in our room, insisted on fetching a humidifier from home. I protested, no need, it's too much trouble. I'll order one online. She'd already made the call, no hassle. My brother's at this school, he'll bring it by. Online orders take days. 10 minutes later, I just cleared the desk when she said, my brother's here. I'm heading down to grab it. Wanna come? I'm taking the trash too. If someone's bringing me something, I couldn't let them do all the work. I never expected to see Zhang Bokda at Jingbei. Downstairs, a supercar gleamed in front of the dorm, impossible to ignore. Zhang Tuna ran over, tapping the window. A guy stepped out, his long legs catching eyes first. Looking up, he was decked in designer gear, exuding cool elegance, stunning, familiar, yet so different from my memory. When he stood before me, I saw his face clearly. I froze. It was him. Brother, where's my stuff? In the trunk, get it yourself. As Zhang Tuna grabbed the items, I pinched my cheek hard. The pain confirmed it wasn't a dream. Stunned, I asked, Zhang Bokda, you hit the jackpot or something? He smirked. Long time no see, ex-girlfriend. Zhang Tuna returned, arms full of bags and snacks. I helped her carry them. Her eyes darted between us, then she chirped, you're Hang Ge, right? My roommate. My brother went to high school in Hangti. Have you two met? Before I could answer, he said coolly, never met. Then he drove off. Pretending we were strangers made sense, he hadn't done anything wrong. I was the one who ended it. I felt nothing special, but Zhang Tuna glared after the car, muttering, ignore him, he's got issues. Your brother's at Jingbei too? Yeah, computer science. Chatting with her, it clicked. No wonder he'd tossed me that card. He was a legit Beijing elite, fed up with his parents nagging, so he'd taken the exams in the countryside for peace. I'd spent 10,000 yuan to sponsor a tycoon's heir, and then dumped him. Zhang Tuna played matchmaker. If you need help, ask him. He's got time. Yeah, right, I couldn't afford him. After settling into the dorm, military training began. Under the scorching sun, marching drills left me 3 shades darker. At night, we had training marches. During breaks, students from different platoons gathered, singing, dancing, and eating. A few days in, couples were already forming. My roommates and I were munching and gossiping when the loudspeaker blared, Love Bubbles dedicated to Trin Hung Ge, Foreign Languages Department. Friends hooted. I covered my face, laughing in embarrassment. My darling, I love you. So cheesy, but the guy's voice was pretty good. Glancing around, I spotted Zhang Bokda in the crowd. Everyone wore the same uniform, but he stood out, probably because his face was dark as coal from the sun. I quickly looked away. Why did I feel like I'd been caught cheating? After training, the singer never approached me, vanishing for some reason. My prepared lines went unused. Sighing, I swung my training cap, heading back to the dorm through a narrow alley. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my arm, pulling me in. I screamed, "Help!" Flailing like a fish. Seeing who it was, I stopped, furious. "Jang Bak-da, are you nuts? You scared me to death. You taking responsibility or what?" He didn't budge, pinning me against the wall. "You like that guy?" "Like who? You're not making sense." It dawned on me, he meant the singer. I teased, "He's got a nice voice." His gaze burned, his Adam's apple bobbing, eyes reddening like he was about to explode. I couldn't handle those glistening eyes. "Jealous? Didn't you say you never wanted to see me again? Acting like we're strangers?" Before I finished, he leaned in and kissed me. Fireworks exploded in my mind, my body stiffening. After a few gentle kisses, he pulled back slightly. "You're cured, huh? Now it's my turn to need fixing." "What can you cure?" "Lovesickness." He cupped my face, kissing me again. Being an heir made a difference. This time, he kissed with no restraint, leaving me breathless. It took ages for him to stop. Blushing, I stumbled back to the dorm. Jang Tu-na saw me and gasped, covering her mouth, "Oh my God, your lips are so red. What did you do?" I grabbed her mirror. My lips were swollen and crimson. I finally felt how intense that kiss was. "Ugh, Jang Bak-da, you rogue." Post-training, he started sending bubble tea and snacks to our dorm, always enough for 4. But my bag always had an extra gift, perfume, lipstick. I wanted to tell him to stop, but I held back. After that night, he hadn't clarified our status. If he said he was just sending stuff for his sister and I was incidental, I'd die of embarrassment. Got money to burn? Fine, keep spending. That evening, fresh from a shower, Jang Tu-na, in bunny pajamas, approached, eyes sparkling like she wore car lens contacts. "Hey, we're planning a mountain hike this weekend. Wanna come? The views are stunning, and we'll camp and barbecue." Everyone was going, so I couldn't say no. "Sure, count me in." Saturday morning, our group of 6, 4 girls, 2 boyfriends, gathered at the school gate. Jang Tu-na's boyfriend drove one car, she'd booked another. When it pulled up, its flashy design screamed familiarity. I turned to leave, but she grabbed me, apologetic. "Sorry, my brother's coming too. We've got tons of snacks, beer, and tents, extra hands help." Fine, he was a useful pack mule. I ended up in the passenger seat next to him. As I buckled up, he handed me his phone. "Help me navigate." The car had GPS, but he wanted me to play guide? I wanted to snap. "Got too much time on your hands?" But with roommates in the back, I stayed quiet. He gripped the wheel, smirking to himself. At the mountain, the lush greenery and fresh air healed my soul. As we unloaded, we ran into someone familiar. "Jang Tu-na, you hiking too?" Tam Duong appeared. Jang Tu-na glanced at her brother, then me, then Tam Duong, her expression turning odd. Somehow, Tam Duong joined our hike. She whispered to me, "My high school friend. She's into my brother, but he's not interested." I played it cool. "Oh, your brother's quite the catch." Inwardly, I couldn't care less. All along the trail, Tam Duong clung to Jang Bak-da, bombarding him with questions, practically screaming "I like you" with her eyes. "Did you go to high school in Hangti?" "Yeah." "Heard the food there's bad. You get used to it?" "It's fine, you adjust." "I'm planning a trip there for National Day. Recommend some fun spots?" At fun spots, he glanced at me. Honestly, I wasn't a fan of girls who wore their hearts on their sleeves, but his face right then was infuriatingly smug. I took a deep breath and charged up the mountain. Normally, 800 meters left me panting, but today, I led the pack with stunning speed. He tried pulling me back. "Slow down, wait for me." I shook him off, ignoring him, and reached the summit. The vast scenery melted my frustrations. Suddenly, a strong hand grabbed my backpack. Using my momentum, Jang Bak-da, drenched in sweat, doubled over, gasping, "Why so fast? Trying to kill me? My stamina's not that bad." I flicked his hand off, chin high like a queen. Don't touch me. Men and women should keep their distance. I turned to snap photos with friends, leaving him standing there, bewildered. As dusk fell, we found a quiet camping spot on the mountain, buzzing with other groups. The guys set up tents while we girls prepped barbecue ingredients. Washing veggies by a bush, my ankle stung. Thinking it was a branch, I ignored it. Soon, Jong Tu-na shouted, "Oh my god, what's wrong with your foot? It's so swollen." Her voice carried, drawing everyone's attention. Jong Bok-da dropped the charcoal he was cleaning and rushed over, crouching to inspect my foot with a worried frown. "You'd think I'd broken it." He held my ankle, brows knit. "Could it be a toxic mosquito? Why is it so red?" Tran Kai, Jong Tu-na's boyfriend and a med student, glanced over. "Just a mosquito bite, the blood-sucking kind. Not poisonous, just itchy." Jong Tu-na grabbed a bottle of menthol oil, but Jong Bok-da snatched it. Tran Kai stopped him. "That oil might not work. Got any toothpaste?" My fair, slender foot made the red swelling glaring. Jong Bok-da, clearly distressed, ducked into the tent. Less than a minute later, he emerged with a tube of toothpaste, squeezing a dollop into his palm. He applied it gently, carefully. The cool sensation made me shiver. My foot twitched, but he held it firm. "Stay still." 5 minutes later, he stood. Tam Duong, sneaking a glance, extended her long leg, cooing, "My foot got bitten too. Can you help?" Her tone gave me goosebumps. He wiped his hands. "Yours is minor, scratch across with your nail." Jong Tu-na swooped in with the oil. "Here, use mine." "I'll do it." Aside from my mosquito bite, everything went smoothly. Beer and grilled meat fueled the fun. 3 beers in, I was dizzy, ignoring my limits, and ran to the bushes to dry heave. Jong Bok-da followed, handing me water. I rinsed my mouth, muttering thanks. Standing, my head spun, and I wobbled. He caught me, arm around my shoulders. "Lean on me." I pushed him away, slurring, "Men and women, no touching." His expression was priceless. "We've kissed, and you're still on about no touching?" Without another word, he scooped me up and tossed me into the tent. I dozed off, waking to use the bathroom and overhearing a conversation. "Brother, Honggu's wasted. Still confessing tonight?" "Nah, I'll find another chance." "What a waste. I hauled that heavy thing up here. I'll send you a red envelope later." "Deal." So, he'd planned to confess tonight but postponed because I was drunk. Footsteps approached. I dove back into my sleeping bag, pretending to sleep. Jong Bok-da and Jong Tu-na entered the tent. I froze, barely breathing. I felt him draw closer, gently tucking my blanket, checking my swollen foot, and confirming I was okay before leaving. As he exited, he said, "Zip the tent tight. Call me if you need anything." The next morning, we descended. On the way back, I kept my distance from him. Last night's revelation was too much. I needed time to process. After a day sprawled in bed, I decided to meet him and clear things up. Monday morning, we met at a cafe near campus. He arrived late, laptop in hand, fresh from class. "No worries, what's up?" I cut to the chase. "Why do you like me?" He chuckled softly. "I bit my lip. I overheard you and Tu-na on the mountain. I broke up with you. Why still want to confess? I'm not that great for you to hold on like this." He sipped his coffee calmly, as if expecting this. "I met you when we were kids. Remember?" I shook my head. "A guy this handsome, and I'd forget?" Second grade, I went to the countryside with family for a memorial. I fell into a ditch. You, this tiny, trembling girl, pulled me out. Scared as you were, you got me to shore and bragged to your friends that I was a better swimmer, so you had to save me. I never forgot." I groaned inwardly. Can we not revisit my childhood embarrassments? "In high school, I saw you again. After basketball, I bumped into you in the hallway. You winced in pain. I was about to apologize and maybe ask for your number, but you glared and muttered a curse. I thought, she's changed a lot. You were so focused on studying, I didn't dare bother you. I wasn't targeting you. Back then, I'd curse out an ant on the ground. Then, during college admissions, I saw your confession post with those weird requirements. I sent the pic to catch your attention. When you kept clinging to me, I thought you had some quirky fetish, didn't realize it was tactile dependency until you told me. I didn't see that coming, did I? I really do have that condition. Then you broke up with me. Everything was fine, and you just ended it out of nowhere. I was heartbroken for so long, thinking you were some cold-hearted girl. I bowed my head, unable to argue. He wasn't wrong. Later, we ran into each other by chance. When I found out you were my sister's roommate, I couldn't stop thinking about you. So, I decided to confess, only for you to get completely plastered. I didn't mean to. I protested. And now, here you are, asking me to meet. Back then, we never had a proper confession. We rushed into things and ended them just as quickly. So, let me ask you, Trin Hung Ge, do you want to start something real with me? His words hit me hard, my eyes welling up. How was this man so good at this? Every sentence from Jong Bak Da felt like a quiet love letter. Time had woven us together for over a decade without me realizing it. There were no deep grudges between us, no unforgivable mistakes. I nodded eagerly, like a pecking hen. I do. He broke into a gentle smile, reaching across the table to ruffle my hair. That familiar warmth flooded back. My cure, my solace, had finally returned. He pulled a ring from his pocket. I've had this for a while but never got the chance to give it to you. Want to try it on? The diamond sparkled under the cafe lights, outshining even its owner. I nodded vigorously. Jong Bak Da slid to my side, took my hand, and slipped the ring on, a perfect fit. How'd you know my ring size? Oh, I had Tuna measure your finger while you were asleep. Talk about seizing the moment. From that day, we were officially back together. As time passed, conflicts arose, more than during those 2 blissful summer months. The most vivid memory was a fight that nearly ended us. Nearing graduation, Jong Bak Da was swamped with a startup project with friends, leaving little time for me. I grew resentful, accusing him of hiding everything, shouldering burdens alone. Despite my complaints, I knew startups were grueling, so I hung out with friends to fill the void. At a friend's birthday party, I had a few drinks and came home late. The moment I stepped inside, his face was stormy. Why are you so late? Do you know how many times I called? Why didn't you tell me what was going on? Do you have any idea how worried I was? He rarely got angry, but I knew he was livid. You're one to talk. You keep everything from me. I ask, and you don't answer. You're busy day and night, and I have no clue what you're doing. The project's overwhelming. I didn't want to drag you into my stress. Fine, I guess I have no right to interfere. Let's just break up. Trin Hung Ge, I never said you had no right. Break up? That night, we fought like the world was ending. He was trembling with anger, clutching his chest, retching in the bathroom. I broke down, tears streaming. The next day, he had to pitch his project out of town. Fearing we'd really fall apart, he dragged me along. We bickered the whole way. I don't recall how we made up, only that after that fight, he started sharing more, caring deeply about my feelings. For years later, we all graduated smoothly. Jong Bak Da's startup succeeded, making him the head of a gaming company. I landed a job at a foreign firm, living a peaceful 9-to-5 life. Jong Tu-na worked at a news agency, while Tran Kai pursued medical studies. The future felt firmly in our grasp. A year later, with his company stable, he proposed on a beach. For some reason, he had a thing for nighttime. I was fast asleep when he woke me, tugging and coaxing, "Babe, get up. You can sleep more later." I wanted to kick him out, my mind screaming, "Lunatic." He quietly opened Alipay and sent me a transfer. Seeing my reluctant rise, he chuckled, helped me dress, and led me to the shore. Stepping out, I snapped awake. The sea breeze caressed my skin, the air tinged with salt's faint tang. Say what you will, but men in gray sweatpants are like women in black stockings, irresistibly alluring. He led me along until he nodded skyward. Boom! A streak of light shot up, bursting into a dazzling firework display against the night. Sparks cascaded like 1,000 stars igniting at once. He knelt on one knee, holding a velvet box, opening it gently. I stared at the ring, frozen for seconds. What's this? His gaze locked onto mine, deep enough to drown me. Trin Hung Ge, will you be my wife? As the final fireworks erupted, I nodded, extending my hand. Proposal accepted. Later, he made a special trip to Hongti, running errands for my family and spending a hefty sum to convince my parents to let me go. While shopping with them at a mall, we bumped into Lam Dat. He had a tall, stunning girl on his arm, greeting my parents. I clung to Jong Bok-da's hand, nervous, dreading old stories resurfacing. Lam Dat's eyes flicked over him but said nothing. As he left, he whispered to Jong Bok-da with a sneer, "Pretty slick for a kept boy." On our wedding day, he stood sharp in a suit, while I held a bouquet, draped in the most radiant gown. Through the veil, I saw my happiness approaching. The music swelled, the scene unfolding like a slow-motion film. Golden light spilled over the guests, reflecting their smiles. He stood at the end of the aisle, his eyes fixed on me, as if no one else existed. Each step toward him brought memories. That summer, our first text, accidental touches, fights we thought we'd never survive. They flashed by, pausing at this moment. He offered his hand, I placed mine in it. "Do you vow to stand by her, in wealth or poverty, health or sickness, until the end?" "Pest," I interjected, sparking laughter. He smiled softly, voice resolute. "Not just a vow, it's my only dream." I laughed, tears brimming. My turn came, me too. "Tomorrow or years from now, I'll always choose you." After the ceremony, we slipped to the hotel's garden. The night was serene, lit by golden lamps and scented with jasmine. I leaned on his shoulder. "We did it." He gripped my hand. "I never doubted. From the day you pulled me from that ditch, I knew you were the one I'd hold on to forever." I tilted my head, his gaze still stirring me like our first meeting. Our wedding night held no grand fireworks, just a room with distant waves. He carefully removed my veil, kissing my forehead. "Wife, thank you for coming back." I hugged him. We never really parted. We stayed up late, saying little, just listening to each other's heartbeats. That silence was so warm, I wished time would freeze. A year later, during a Europe trip, I discovered I was pregnant. Hearing the news, he froze, then spun me around the hotel room, laughing until his eyes glistened. "Wife, this is the best gift I've ever gotten." From then on, he became a full-time husband, making me drink milk each morning and reading to me at night. "Our baby will know my voice first," he'd say. When our child was born, he held my hand through it all. At the first cry, he whispered, "Wife, we're a family now." His face, joyful, proud, tender, made me want to cry. Years later, we lived by the sea. Mornings, he'd carry our daughter to the balcony for sunrise while I brewed coffee. He still loved gray sweatpants, and I still hugged him whenever I pleased. Some afternoons, we'd sit on the porch, our girl scampering about, and he'd turn to me, "See? I cured your condition." I grinned. "And I cured your lovesickness." Happiness isn't always explosive moments. Sometimes, it's waking up, turning to see your love smiling, holding your hand, and walking forward together. Side story: Our Little Princess. A summer morning, sunlight streamed through the curtains onto our wide bed. Before I could open my eyes, giggles filled the air. "Wife, save me." Jong Bok-da's voice rang out, dripping with mock despair. Rubbing my eyes, I sat up, bursting into laughter. Our 2-year-old, Jong Chu-jung, was riding her dad's back, wielding a comb like a jockey's whip. "What are you doing to Daddy?" I asked, clutching my stomach from laughing. Chu-jung's eyes widened. "Riding a horse. This horse is too slow." He sighed dramatically. "This horse's back is breaking, begging for a rest, but the princess won't let me. I serve at her command." I scooped her up, kissing her cheek. "Let's let the horse rest, princess." He flopped onto the bed, panting theatrically. "Help, help." I shot him a look. Such a drama queen. He winked. "Gotta show the princess how much I sacrifice for her." Living by the sea, weekends meant beach trips. Today was no different. Chu-jung, in a wide-brimmed hat, toddled with a tiny plastic bucket, bubbling with excitement. He trailed her, tying her shoes or brushing off sand. Watching them, mirror images in gait, smile, and eyes, I couldn't help but laugh. "Wife," he called, "check out the castle our girl built." Chu-jung beamed. "Mommy, I made it for you." I knelt beside her, ruffling her hair. "Thank you, princess." He grinned, smearing sunscreen on my cheek. "You're my princess too." Back home, Chu-jung dozed in the back seat. He drove, voice soft. You know, I used to think I'd be a terrible dad. Why's that? I tilted my head. I wasn't great at taking care of myself. But with you and her, it all feels natural. I smiled. You were born to be a great husband and dad. He glanced at the rearview mirror, chuckling. And the hottest guy in the house. That evening, we had hot pot at home. Chu Jung, perched in her high chair, scooped broth, whispering, Daddy eat, Mommy eat. He feigned tears. See? Daughters love their dads most. I raised a brow. Who cooked? Who washed the veggies? She thought for 3 seconds, then said solemnly, Mommy. I propped my chin. So, who do you love most? She glanced between us, then whispered in my ear, I love Mommy most, but don't tell Daddy. I laughed, but he'd overheard, clutching his heart. Betrayed. My daughters betrayed me. That weekend, her preschool held a family day, each child performing with their parents. Chu Jung chose dancing. His face paled. I can't dance. She crossed her arms. Learn, Daddy. Or I'll find another boy to dance with. That did it. He practiced relentlessly. That night, as I washed dishes, I saw him in the living room, clumsily but earnestly moving to the music. At the event, in a white shirt, he carried her onto the stage. When the music started, their dance was a mess, but their shared gaze sparkled like fireworks. Afterward, she hugged his neck, Daddy's the best. From the audience, my heart melted. That night, as she slept, I sat by her bed, watching. He wrapped his arms around my waist, chin on my shoulder. Wife, thank you for giving me a family. I turned, hugging him. We built it together. He kissed my forehead. Yeah. Think we could add another little one? I laughed. How many gray sweatpants days will that cost you? He chuckled, whispering, as many as you want, as long as it's with you. In the quiet room, our daughter's soft breaths mingled with distant waves and his warm embrace. My happiness was complete. Side story, Zhang Bakda's perspective. The first time I met Trin Hongge, I knew she'd turn my life upside down, not in some cheesy, love-at-first-sight way, but with a strange, familiar pull, like we'd crossed paths before. And we had. In 2nd grade, during a family trip to the countryside for a memorial, I slipped into a ditch. That tiny, trembling girl hauled me out, then bragged to her friends she was strong enough to save a boy bigger than her. I held on to that memory. We met again in high school. After basketball, I bumped into her in the hallway. I meant to apologize, maybe get her number, but her glare and muttered curse stopped me cold. I thought, she's changed. But that moment made me decide not to disturb her. Then, the summer before college, I saw her post on the confession board, 8,000 yuan salary, over 1.85 m, 8-pack abs. I laughed, here was my shot. I sent in a photo, not expecting her to agree so fast. Meeting her, she was prettier than I'd imagined, her eyes mischievous yet guarded. The way she hugged me, fearless and sudden, threw me off but thrilled me. At first, I thought it was a simple deal, but the more time we spent, the more I craved beyond her hugs, beyond fleeting meetups. I wanted to know her thoughts, her likes, her dislikes, to be part of her world. Then she broke up with me, no real reason, just, the fortune teller says I'll jinx my husband. I gave a bitter laugh. I don't believe in fortune tellers, but her serious eyes left me no room to argue. I gave her a card, not as repayment, but to say I'd be there if she needed me. We lost touch after that. Seeing her at Jingbei University was a shock. I'd braced myself to act like strangers, but seeing her, dazed outside the dorm, I wanted to bridge that gap. She was as stubborn as ever, still making my heart race, oblivious to how much she meant. I held back, but when I heard her praise some guys singing, my patience snapped. I pulled her into a dark corner and kissed her for ages. That's when I admitted I was sick, lovesick. I planned to confess on the hike, even had my sister prep confetti and a ring. But she got so drunk she could barely stand, so I shelved it. Then she overheard my talk with Tuna. We finally had an honest conversation at the cafe. I spilled everything, the childhood memory, the photo, the ache of our breakup. I asked, want to start again? When she nodded, I knew I'd hold on tight this time. Over 4 college years, we fought plenty. The worst was during my startup days, hiding my stress to spare her. She called me out for shutting her out, I blamed her for not understanding. It ended in a screaming match and the longest makeup hug I'd ever had. After graduation, my company took off, and I proposed. No drama, no fancy restaurant, just a beach, fireworks, and, "Will you be my wife?" She nodded. I exhaled. Simple as that. Married, we soon had a daughter. Hearing it was a girl, I pictured her stealing my spot as her mom's favorite. But holding Chu Jung for the first time, I'd have given her the world. Being a dad was different from being a husband. She taught me to wake early, mix formula, even dance just to perform with her. Each time she hugged my neck, I felt like the luckiest man alive, blessed with 2 princesses. Now, every morning, I carry her to the balcony so Hung-gu can sleep in. She points at the sea, babbling nonsense I cherish as the sweetest sound. At night, when our girl sleeps, I hold my wife, kiss her forehead, and say what I've held in forever: "Thank you for entering my life. Never leave." We've come full circle. Strangers, hired boyfriend, breakup, reunion. In the end, we hold hands through ordinary days. I don't need grandeur, just waking each morning to my wife beside me, our daughter's laughter nearby, is enough.